The title of this podcast is You're Not Someone Else's Teacher. Work on yourself instead. This podcast is inspired by something that I used to do. I wasn't quite aware of it, but I would give other people advice, about how they should deal with situations or could deal with them, and how they could work on themselves. It was well intended for sure, but that time could have been better served working on me. Now, I do want to acknowledge that I have a circle of friends and people that I trust, who I've given full permission to coach me up and give me advice and feedback, and they've done the same thing with me, allowing me to give them coaching on their blind spots too. And one of the things I've learned to do is if I feel compelled or inspired to help someone with maybe some lessons I've learned, I always ask for permission to share first. So, with those acknowledgments out of the way, what I have learned to do when those agreements aren't in place is to not tell someone else how they should be living their life. I'm not their teacher. I don't say anything like that anymore. Instead, I try to live by example and use all that time that I freed up judging people or trying to tell them what they should be doing. I believe I've used that all that free time to work on me. And let me tell you, it's been time well spent, and time that was needed because I had a lot of work to do. So I use this analogy before I go out and get in somebody else's business. I got this little storefront that I'm just trying to keep clean with my little broom, and I'm just sweeping away all of the debris and dust that can collect in front of it, which is attracted mostly by my own making of my own ego. So I sincerely encourage you to look at your own life and see if you are operating at the highest level, if you're your best self. It's one of those things to where you could probably be fairly certain that there's some work for you to do. Anything that's bothering you about another person, that's your work, not the other person. Don't require or demand that they change or tell them to change. Instead, work on letting go of the need for them to change or to be better or to be different. Now, that's not to say that there are some situations that may require like professional intervention, whether it's in the form of authorities or mental health support or something like that. But if you allow for those things, then what's left is you just working on yourself. And again, if there's this need for people who are adults, not your children, because there's a role for you to guide them, but for adults that you need in your workplace, in your home to be a certain way, work on giving up the need to have them have to uh, behave the way that you think they should be behaving to either show you love or respect or anything like that. Just work on you, work on having the capacity to let go of need, and you'll be fine. So again, I'm a big proponent, believer of not being someone else's teacher unless we have an agreement in which it goes both ways. And we're not actually teaching each other, but we're supporting each other and helping each other see those blind spots. That's it. So work on yourself instead.